Hello guys, today we are with Group ISM. They are working in cybersecurity, they are solving cyber crimes, and we have the great chance to meet with Simon David Williams, which is the CEO of Group ISM. So let's go meet him. Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you for coming.
Well, my pleasure. So tell us a little bit more about Group ISM. What are you guys doing here?
We're a value-added reseller. What we do actually is IT for businesses. So we're a business-to-business company. We exclusively do business with people and companies from around the region. So Laval, Laurentides, Lanaudière here in Quebec.
Great.
Yeah.
So today you're gonna tell us a little bit more about the dark web, dark net. We're gonna talk about some cyber crimes. And I cannot wait, honestly, so.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. Maybe you can show us a little bit around what it looks like having an IT infrastructure.
Yeah, sure. First of all, we have our call center that we answer calls coming in from the client in real time. We have more than 480 clients that work with us. So as soon as they need support for whatever, my computer is not working, I have a problem in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, they call in here. But of course today we don't have a lot of people, it's Friday, and we do work remotely a lot. There's more than 50 employees at ISM, but not all of them want to work at the office right now. So that's why we're hybrid. So usually we have the new people that come in and are trained in the call center, or people that just basically like more working on site than at home.
Oh, that sounds good. And
yeah.
How many businesses do you help, Group ISM?
480 business right now,
okay.
As of now. But sometimes it's having, an IT job for them, either an IT director, either support, either projects, and it can also be training that we also do. So we have different departments. We have 4 projects: call center, optimization, that's the training department, and the VCIO department. Those basically are running the IT environments of those clients and helping out with managing the IT inside businesses.
No, that's great. I love what I'm seeing here.
Good.
All right, so let's go to the meeting room to talk a little bit more about cybersecurity.
Of course.
All right, so here we are. Mr. Williams, thank you again for inviting us today. And for those of you who don't know, Mr. Williams here is actually quite a popular figure in the IT world. So you do conferences around the world talking about this particular subject. Trying to sensibilize people on how to secure themselves and their businesses. Mm-hmm. And we're doing it live today on our channel, so thank you again.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's quite an honor to work with you guys.
Oh, thank you. So let's start with the dark web. Right to the
right
topic.
To the point?
Yeah, right to the point.
Let's dig in. So first of all, you have to understand that everything on the internet that we use every day, Instagram, Bing, Facebook, YouTube, Google, whatever we do, this is called the surface web because it's indexed and can be searched, right? So this represents about 4% of all internet traffic. What we work on, emails, private cloud, banking sites, things like that, that is not indexed in internet. That represents about 90% of all internet traffic. But dark web represents 6%. There's a whole lot of things going on in the dark web and a whole lot of traffic. Of course, there's anonymous and illegal activities, but there's more than that. There's good ways of using the dark web and bad ways, of course.
So you say good ways, bad ways of using the dark web. So everyone has access to it, is what I'm understanding. It's not like coding on your laptop and getting to a page that is hidden to everyone.
No, not at all, actually. It's basically a navigator, web navigator, like Google Chrome or Firefox. It's the same thing. It's not like in films when you see black and green code that you enter. It's just a browser.
And 6% of people are using it for different reasons again. So
yes.
Some people just use it to keep their privacy and
Mm-hmm.
others to
sell different kind of products that could be illegal, sell data, sell private information, sell passports, fake identities, credit cards, and things like that. That could all be so used for that.
And today you will kind of show us not how it works per se, but more it's about protecting ourselves. So trying to figure out what you can do to, if you end up on the dark web, let's say, what can you do to stop it? And also secure your business from, let's say, hackers and people that have bad intentions of using your data.
To be aware is for the first thing, and after that, as you know what's going on, you can put security measures eventually inside your business and make people know what's out there so they can protect themselves and their business, yes.
Okay.
So I won't go through the Tor history.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Who's the dark web?
Okay,
we can. Sorry. Okay, so basically the dark web is totally secure. ISM and me have participated in different cybercrimes that we helped out the IT guys inside an environment that needed help to get the hacker out. That happened about 50 times. We worked with the police, we worked with cybersecurity firms, we worked with businesses that were hacked and encrypted. And usually when we see an IP address coming in from the dark web, there's no way of actually knowing who's behind that IP address. If you're at home or you use your phone, you have an IP address that's unique to you. So we can identify you through the ISP. So we can know who has that IP address at that specific time. The dark web totally destroys this because it goes through 3 nodes. You can go through an entry node, a middle node, and an exit node that are in 3 different countries. And basically, you're anonymous because each node does not record your original IP address. And that traffic is totally encrypted. So even though we see a Tor IP address, a dark web IP address inside the computer that was connected to, we would do searches and searches. We can never go see who's behind that IP address specifically. So it's totally anonymous and totally secure. In every cybercrime we did, as soon as we had an IP address coming in from the dark web, the police told us we cannot do anything. So that's basically it.
Wow, so a hacker that knows what he's doing means that there's no real way of stopping the aftermath. So him collecting the data or something like this.
I would say he feels secure enough that he can act like he does. Yes. The way the dark web looks, usually people would think that it's going to be evil, dark, or things like that. But it's basically a web browser like this one. So you have your tabs, as you would do in Google Chrome. You have your search field and everything. So it's pretty straightforward. You can even navigate the regular web using this browser. This is the Tor web browser, by the way. It's free to download on the internet. Instead of downloading Google Chrome and click next, 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 you click Tor web browser and you click next, next, next and install. That's basically it.
And as you were mentioning earlier, the advantage of using a Tor browser would be to keep your privacy.
Yes.
So again, it's about those nodes that goes through when you navigate in this browser, right?
Yes, and traffic is totally encrypted. On regular web, traffic is encrypted to certificates, but not the regular web. Let's say you go on a website that's HTTP, traffic is not encrypted. But using the dark web, everything is encrypted, so totally secure.
So again, I can search for anything. There's no historic, there's nothing, no trace of what I've done on the internet if I use the Tor browser.
Yes, but I'm not recommending to use the Tor web browser every day, of course, but yes, that's basically the idea behind it right now.
Okay, so I understand why hackers would be using this now. So, and so everyone can access this, access the dark web. Anyone can navigate through it, and you can also find some information on it. So if your business is being hacked, let's say, how would someone be able to review this information and kind of understand what's going on?
Sure. I want to go behind on what you asked, how they can go see, because you have to understand what's going on when we're being hacked. Usually when a group of hackers penetrates the system, by any way, 90% of the time, by the way, it's an attachment file that somebody opens on the network or on the computer, and the hacker gains access to the system. The first thing he's going to install is a keylogger. So a keylogger basically records everything you type in on the keyboard. He's going to be active maybe more or less 5 or 6 months inside the system. He's going to monitor those keyboards. He's going to monitor also the monitor to see different screen captures. He's going to go through different systems. He's going to go on the server. He's going to take a backup of all the PII he can. And he's going to collect that data for 6 months. And month 5 or 6, depending, and some are even working inside 2 months right now, and even earlier from the recent cybercrimes. They'll probably try to delete the backup, just to be sure that if you want to get access to your data, you're going to have to pay a ransom for a decryption key, because they're going to encrypt all of your information inside the environment. The other thing they will do is they'll eventually take all the data that they took, the personal information, passports, credit files, anything they can get, and publish them on a public website, or actually put a threat on the company to publish it on a public website. So the company is going to have 2 choices, either to pay or not pay a ransom. If they pay the ransom, they will not publish all the data on their website, and they will give the decryption key back to the client. But if you don't pay for that ransom, your data is going to be published, and you're going to have to, get the hacker out of the system and basically start from scratch inside your environment if you have a good backup. So the way it looks, like on this side, this is Lockbit. This is dated from a couple of months ago. You can see personal data directly on their website of every business that were being hacked. In red, you see businesses that are encrypted but are negotiating for the ransom. In green, they did not pay for the ransom and data is published. You can click on the link and go see the information of a company. If you're not there, or you were there, maybe you paid the ransom, or it could be a bluff, depending on certain scenarios.
And now, if we go back a little bit, you mentioned when they have access, they install a keylogger.
Yeah.
So how does that happen? So there's so many phishing strategies right now, like people sending links, people sending files. Is that all it takes? Someone clicking a link in your business and all of a sudden there's a keylogger installed on your PC?
Yes.
So,
basically a file attachment. You can run inside Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and many other file types, what they call the VBA, or that's specific code that they can run inside a file. Some people also have zip file. So you open up an archive, you eventually go to files and folders, you click on something, it's going to run something on your computers. It can be a physical keylogger. It could be also a memory slot that you enter. There's a not run function inside those devices, or USB stick, and it runs the software also. I would say 90% of the time, penetration of a network usually comes in from a workstation that somebody is running an attached file. 10% of the time is outdated software, using security risk inside a corporate organization. That still happens.
So how a company gets targeted? So what makes them vulnerable for hackers? Are hackers just going randomly towards any businesses, or are they like, this one, I know they're not very secured, that's the one I'm going to try on?
Mm-hmm. This is a question of opinion, but what I saw in the 50 cybercrimes we worked with different cybersecurity companies or things like that, is usually companies are not targeted. They're just a victim. They send a whole lot of bunch of emails out there, a whole lot of bunch of phishing attacks and things like that to obtain login information or access to a system, whatever they can do. And they only work on the ones that answer, or that, basically that run the software or link. But as of now, in the last 6 months, something special happened. Certain businesses may have been frauded I can explain the fraud. A business that receives an invoice from one of their suppliers, irregular suppliers, and inside that invoice there's a payment link, or maybe numbers for a payment account.
Yeah.
Sometimes people update those bank accounts. Sometimes people change their payment destination. So what happens is a hacker actually sends out an invoice directly to a company coming in from an existing supplier that they know of. Either the one on the web or directly, either they had access for a brief moment of time to a mailbox, but they do know that this business works with the other business. So they send an invoice out to the business, and the person pays the invoice, like you do every day, right? You receive a bill, you pay it. And sometimes that money goes to a hacker bank account. So when that happens, the business gets targeted because, hey, I got money out of that business. So I'll do more and more attack on that business because I know they can be easily frauded, right? So they're getting more targeted on that way of doing things, not the regular cybercrimes. So what will happen is she might receive other emails coming in from other suppliers trying to ask him for a payment request or an invoice right now. So they get targeted more after the first time.
Okay.
As soon as you're on the billboard, let's say, or you're flashing somewhere, now you're going to get targeted after.
All right, so now they have access to your data. They install the keylogger on your laptop. That's something they can sell on the dark web.
Yes.
But you also talked about other things that can be done in the dark web.
Yes, yes. First of all, if you want the US citizenship, it's available right now on the dark web. You can buy that for $1,500 US. Always payable in Bitcoins. You can go to a Bitcoin ATM. They have multiple ones in multiple cities. In our region here, we have 3 that are very close, a 10-minute drive. And you can have that US citizenship, a US bank account for $1,000 US also. You can buy credit cards, so 10 credit cards with a credit ranging from $20,000 to $50,000 for about $180 US. It's quite risky because sometimes those cards will not pass. Let's say you have a credit card coming in from California and you do a transaction in Canada. That's going to be weird, you know, moving from one place to the other. So the transaction might be blocked, or if it's not, I've heard that you have an average of 8 minutes after you use the credit cards might be intercepted by either Walmart or by either the store or the authorities. That's going to refuse the payment after. So it's pretty risky business if you buy credit cards online, of course, frauded credit cards.
Yeah, I feel that if you access the dark web to buy anything, it's kind of a risky business already.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Fake US driver license for $200. And personal information is also sold on the dark web. So one side of a Virginia driver license is about $135 US. Only one side of that driver license. But you can also buy private information for one person, let's say first name, last name, address, social security number. It's only $25 to buy a profile. With that profile, if it has a good credit, you can create fake credit cards, past loans that are available on the internet. You can go up to $8,000 in fast loans online right now with only good credit information, without providing any pictures, without providing nothing. You can have $8,000 deposited inside 15 minutes. So one person, one profile is only $25 Canadian on the dark web. You don't want to do nothing illegal on the dark web, but you want to have access to a hacker. You can rent a hacker. So it's hacker as a service. Vladimir can actually take control of maybe a phone of somebody you love, or from somebody that you don't love if you want, for $700 US. So he offers services to hack Facebook account, Twitters, whatever, a whole company for a range of prices.
And how does that work? So this Vladimir, you contact him through the dark web, you send an email,
You pay him first.
Okay.
And then he's going to contact you. So he can also recover passwords. He can do whatever you need. He's basically a full-blown hacker that's available for you, but you have to pay first. So that's why you click on buy now. This is an example, but there's a whole lot of them out there that offer their services.
So it's so interesting that hackers have their own business profiles. It's kind of, if they have the LinkedIn page and you contact them to help you with a problem you have.
But it is a fake identity, right?
Of
and
course.
They usually work through the dark web, so that restrains to be public on the internet. And they protect themselves because with the fake identity, but I'm sure they do not, contact directly in person their clients. I would work remotely if I would work with them. Not because of COVID, just because you don't want them to be able to catch you.
And how good are they? So for example, I know people, they tend to write their password on Post-it, and they post it in their office and they're sure it's secure. Mm-hmm. How would Vladimir go on about this?
Well, maybe not Vladimir, but you can actually engage somebody that's available on the dark web to do basically whatever you want. So they could use a phone, put it in their pocket, and with a 1080p camera, actually, go into business, either disguised or not, as a Videotron, either Quebec, or maybe a construction worker with a white hat and a yellow shirt that opens up every door in the world, by the way. And they're gonna have that HD camera on them, and they're gonna go out through the office and just, find those posts and record information. What also they could do is actually buy keyloggers available online on Amazon for $69 since the inflation. You can get a USB key like this one, and this is going to be a physical keylogger that's going to send out everything you type in on the keyboard, either on an email, a website, whatever platform that you need. So the person that's going to be disguised as a construction worker will probably try to see an unmonitored computer, install that USB key in there, and the hacker will receive every login information. PII is going to be entered on the computer regularly by email or by web.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And again, all this, how do you protect yourself for something like this? Is it all about education? So these conference you do, the message you send to everyone is learning about those breach that can happen in business.
Yes, it's sharing the stories of breaches without naming the clients, of course. It's sharing the breaches of what happened inside our region or in our country to everybody. Being aware of what's going on in the dark web, it makes us more secure because we do understand how the hacker works. How do he enters the system? And let's say your information is on the dark web. You can get credit protection from Equifax or TransUnion. Not everybody believes in it, but what it's going to do, actually, if somebody tries to make a fake loan using your provided information, you'll receive a notification or a call coming in from the authorities or the credit line asking, somebody's requesting your credit profile. Do you want to share? Yes or no? So if you have that multi-form factor authentication, it secures you from actually releasing that information to a website so they can, have a credit card. So I would say knowing what goes on, how hackers get into systems, enables people to be more aware and protect themselves also. So doing training, I would say you have 2.2 less risk of being hacked, just knowing what's the dark web and what's their strategy.
And again, this is something you provide. So Group ISM, they provide training for these sorts of situations to businesses.
Of course, our clients are covered by the cybersecurity training, knowing on what's going on in the dark web, if they have passwords that are already exposed. But we also provide training to the IT community. So we want to share what we learn in those 50 active cybercrimes to the IT community, and we want to show them how to go see on the dark web what's out there, on their business, on their own, to protect themselves, and also let people from their family, friends, and clients what's going on.
Okay, so I want to emphasize on the fact that, again, anyone can get hacked. So you mentioned keylogger, either they come and put something directly that they bought on Amazon, they put it on a desktop that's on a corner, or someone clicked on a link.
Yep.
And that means even the biggest corporation are not protected against hackers.
Exactly, yes. Actually, most of the 150 active groups of hackers do target businesses more than personal individuals. So those 150 groups out there, usually what they do, they enter on a system, they stay there for 6 months, and eventually they're going to collect data, either personal information, confidential information, privileged information, and then collect all that data. At the end of the 6 months, they'll delete the backup, as I mentioned, but what they'll do is actually threaten the client or the corporate business to publish that data on their website. So let's say for 6 months, they collected all the keyloggers. Let's say after the 6 months, they do deploy the attack. They encrypt every workstation, everything they can inside the environment. They're going to go on their website that is public, that the authorities checks, let's say the media, let's say the police, let's say, I don't know, maybe competitors. And the hacker will provide an image, a sample image of what's available to everybody there. They'll give them a timer, maybe 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, depending on the group of hacker. Eventually, if they do not pay, all the data will be published. So every confidential information from the employees, every security risk that you had mentioned inside your computer or server or maybe SharePoint, they might have security problems that you had in your IT environment that's going to be published. Basically, any plan that you would have, everything that makes your business tick is going to be available for public download freely. And usually inside of cybercrime, the most thing where I would say has an impact, let's say you have a good backup. In the situation that you have a good backup would be the media. Because the media does monitor the dark web, and sometimes certain business don't react correctly or rapidly enough. And what happens is the media actually points you inside a story, and probably this will have an impact on your business. Yeah. Either the marketing team or the CEO, everybody's going to be occupied answering phone calls or emails coming in from employees, old employees, or maybe clients that are, aware of the situation and scared of what's going on for you as a supplier. Maybe the bank will freeze your bank account. Things like that can happen after a cybercrime. But of course, authorities also check the dark web, and for good reasons. They have laws that they have to apply. Inside the dark web, if you have private information that was disclosed, you have to inform everybody that was touched by that cybercrime of what happened to their personal data, so they can get credit protection inside their business, inside the individuals, for the individuals. So a cybercrime has major consequences. First of all, the operations will stop. Yeah. Second of all, the image of the company from media and marketing can go wrong. And third, there could be a big financial impact of repairing and diagnosing and cleaning that environment inside a short amount of time.
And again, you did work for some of these businesses that were attacked by cyber criminals, right?
Yes. I helped out in 50 active cybercrimes for business in Quebec. And the first hours are also very stressing. People don't really know what's going on in the dark web, don't know about hacker groups until they're hacked sometimes. and when that happens, they don't feel secure of actually using their phones anymore. But, it's pretty straightforward. It's every day this happens to multiple businesses. Today, we have 11 active cybercrimes in our region of Canada. Out there in the world, in just one day, we can get anywhere between 80 to 120 businesses that are being hacked actively. So I'd say for now, for us, for me, it's a day-to-day business for people to being hacked. But you can actually have a way of knowing what's going on and what strategy they use, so you can protect yourself right now by using longer passwords. Some people think an 8-character password can be secure, even though you put $signs and things like that. The basic fact that you can go on the dark web and download a dictionary of 8 characters. Every word that could be generated with every 26 letters and punctuations is generated in a dictionary that is free to download on the internet.
Wow.
So you can use a dictionary attack for every 8-character password that's out there, right? They're not up to 16 characters yet in those dictionaries because it's going to create a whole lot of information. So that's why I'm recommending longer passwords. Be aware of phishing emails, phishing texts, and things like that. That's the thing by doing training, that's a good thing too. Of course, the first thing we do inside of cybercrime is actually activate double multi-factor authentication. Usually the hacker gets your credentials by links or maybe by another company that was hacked, like LinkedIn in 2016. Your password was published. So hackers use their login and password to hack you, and they're going to try that LinkedIn password on every platform out there. If you have multi-factor authentication, it's going to ask for a validation, and you're going to receive that validation on your phone. So that's going to help you out a whole lot. So training, MFA, being aware of what's out there would be the best steps in a short-term period of time. Even though it's personal or commercial, you should have MFA, right, as of today.
So you talk about tools that people, so public, can use to know either if they're hacked or maybe to check for their password. What are these tools that they can use? Can you show us some examples?
With great pleasure. I love this one. It's I've been pwned. Actually, you know, as people getting hacked either by clicking on fake links, entering login information on fake website, phishing a message that comes in through text, whatever. Those passwords can be on the dark web. But not only that, sometimes other people can get hacked. A while back in 2016, LinkedIn was hacked. So every password inside their database was exposed to the dark web. So everybody who has a big public company or has PII that is leaked has to inform the people that are touched by that so they can secure themselves and change their passwords. In this case, I just entered my own email address. I'vebeenpawned.com is the site that you can enter your personal email address or corporate email address. And you're going to see public breaches that are referenced. Like for myself, Adobe was hacked in 2013, so my password was exploited. Canva in 2019, Dropbox in 2012, and LinkedIn in 2016, and MyFitnessPal in 2018. So my password at that time was exfiltrated out of that company and exposed on the dark web. So now I know I can not use that password anymore, of course.
Exactly.
And
that's a signal for you to change your password as soon as you see these things appear.
Exactly, yes. It's going to be a race against time. In my case, these are old, but there might be recent for certain people. Another way of doing it is with tools. This is a tool it's called Dark Web ID. It's made by Kaseya. It's an IT, they actually provide software to IT companies like mine. They have a search tool that actually monitors the dark web in real time and on hacker forums, and they get credentials and also exfiltrated data and import them directly in their own database. So right now I'm not on the dark web, on the regular web, connected to the Kaseya Dark Web ID database. And I can pull that database and ask for information directly for a specific person that what was collected for them on the dark web. You want to try?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
So your web address is pipl.systems like this?
Yes, exactly.
So I'm not connected to the dark web. This is totally secure. I'm in an online database that's inside Kaseya, and I'm going to do search. So in your case, you have no results. So good. You're okay.
And in the case there were results, you would see where your data was kind of lost, let's say. And
you're going to see, you're going to see your email address, the data was found on the dark web, the password. It could be encrypted or not. Personal information, the origin, let's say it's LinkedIn, but if it's a hacker that has your passwords, the origin will be not applicable because I mean it's coming in from a hacker. So it could be phishing email, it could be you clicked on the wrong link and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's again, it's crazy what happens on the internet and the dark web without us knowing.
Yeah. A website also that I love very much is ransomware. Of course, I would not recommend every people going on the dark web, but this is a regular website, so it is secured. You can see if you want to see what's going on inside the cybercrime and hackers. You can see in real time on those 156 groups of hackers who is being hacked right now. So if I scroll down, I don't know if you see the date right now, but it's all today, those people are being hacked. So there are a whole lot of businesses out there that are being actively monitored and actively hacked as we're speaking.
And when you say hack, does that mean that right now they are on the billboard you showed earlier, so people are asking ransom for these websites specifically?
For these companies, yes, exactly. So people are being hacked. The hackers is presenting data, maybe a sample of that data on the dark web website, of their own website. And if they don't pay the ransom, it will be published, the whole thing that they can have. Every PII, every confidential privileged information will be published publicly.
All right, so now I think we only saw the surface of how deep we can go on the dark web about cybercrime, cybersecurity, and I know there's a whole lot to cover, but I need to ask you guys actually, what you would like us to cover in another video. So if you're a manufacturer, how could you protect your business maybe? Would that be interesting for you? Or maybe only some simple facts like, is Apple better than Android if you want to protect your privacy? Or if you're doing cloud solutions, surveillance cloud solution, is your privacy is better secured than using a physical storage network, either DVR and NVR? But all these questions will be answered later on. It all depends on you if you would like us to talk about this topic. And now, Mr. Williams, how can we follow you? How can we dive deeper in that topic?
ISM is, of course, business to business, and right now our capacity is very limited, but we do offer something to the community. It's called the Reality of Cybercrime Conference. That's available for everybody. So you just book me through LinkedIn. I can send you my LinkedIn information. And yeah, you basically contact me if you're interested in a conference or maybe cybersecurity training. We are available for that too. And we want to give out the more and more information out there so people do understand what's going on to secure themselves.
Well, thank you, because honestly, I'm so impressed and I've learned a bunch today.
Thank you.